I really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming? Or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, that when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming? Or on the edge of remembering? Agnes, let me be the first to welcome you, to be the first to come. How are you? I found Toblerina's other eye. So the first order of business is replacing it. I would have been here earlier. I did a private reading though, and it was her first with me. So it took longer than an average reading. Yeah, now. So I'm going to fix her eye because we're going to use the very same stuff on this. I had my tea, I had a piece of chicken, I had a piece of cake, and all the healthier stuff is waiting for dinner. All right, so let's take care of Toblerina's model's eye, because it's not Toblerina. She doesn't have eyes. All right, nicely done. Now to get this on. It's always the hard part, like that. Don't be doing anything weird, okay? Here we go. You make me so very happy. It looks like I'm going to have to replace her other eye though. It's gone lollygagging off to the side, and you know, also I got white paint on her black eyelashes. She's got salt and pepper eyelashes, which looks funny because now instead of eyelashes they look like little spiders that are getting old. We'll put her over here for the moment. At least she has two eyes now. So how be you? How be doggies? How be Orion? Right? They're like little spiders. So I got some nice color down yesterday, and now I have to preserve some of it. No, I have to stand up. Well, apparently the standing up and looking down is what's giving me the headaches. I spoke to a physical therapist yesterday, and it didn't take more than like 3 seconds for us to nail the problem. It's like, well, oh, good. I'll talk quietly. I love that mornings like that. Mine was not like that today. So I think I need to get more blue, but I did save that blue yesterday, so it should not move when I put more down. We're gonna get out our big brush, which is now stained with the phthalo blue, as they do. This is for when we start applying this, or that. All right. Now, one of the things, so I'm gonna have to move the chair in a loud way. I want, we need more space coming into here. Like, it's still, it's being made, it's being woven. And so it has to reflect that. Come on down. Now having lighting challenges again. We have a storm coming in, at least in theory. Well, I guess not so much theory. It's not raining at this moment. It was raining when I first got up. Wow. It's been very sunny, but I see a cloud bank over here coming in. So we're on the edge of something again. It's been pretty fierce, and I guess we're lucky. But like I said, wherever I am, I'll be safe. So I'm here, and we're all set. Because I need to remember that when I go into New York. I'm safe. That's one thing. I thought I lost once the New York feeling, because I'd been gone for a couple of years, and when I went back, I found myself afraid to cross the street on my own. Like, the rhythm was gone. I looked at cars like, oh no, how am I going to get across the street? And I really just sat, I stood there and moved with the crowd when they moved. But watching the crosswalk stuff. But if you live in New York, you frequently walk against the light, depending on how good you are at moving around those cars and how fast they're moving. I mean, you need to know a lot, and it depends on where in the city. Obviously, it's not just anywhere. There's some places you've got to be, even when the light's with you, you've got to watch it. There's somebody, like usually a taxi driver, trying to get around that corner, and they'll pick you off if you're not careful. In fact, a lot of times you'll hear a whoomp, and you go, "Hey, I'm walking here!" Oh, no, sorry. You're sleeping there. Not anymore. Oh, this blue is making some beautiful colors going over the green and the yellow. Yummy, yummy, yum. That's what I'm hoping to do. Lots of that. The green and the blues, and they just... I could just inhale that color all day. Except when I have cravings for orange. Oh, okay. That's good. Oh, that's nice and spacey. I'm about to break into this happy dance, and I know it just looks crazy. I can't help it though. It's like when you're singing, when you hit the note that you really love to hit, but you don't always manage to hit it where you want, but then you do, and when you do, it feels like you just want to break into another dance. And then I do some color stuff, and I see a stroke, or I see a blending of the color, and I feel like breaking into the dance. So, yeah, that's alright. God, it's a good thing I don't do hard drugs. I'd be completely intolerable. Yeah. And that's why I put caps on things. Now, this morning when I was taking my shower, I remembered a song. A song from when I was really small. It was a song that it caught me, it just stuck in my brain, and I've loved it all my life, even though I don't know all the words to it. Every once in a while, it pops into my head like, get ready to celebrate, and celebrate today, kind of a thing. The message is, you gotta tell me where it's from. I know where it's from. Let's see if you remember this one. A very merry on birthday to us, a very merry on birthday to us, Da 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 la 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 la. A very merry on birthday to us. Can you ring a bell? Who knows where that came from? I must have been 7 or so. You've not heard it. You've not heard it. And believe it or not, it's a Disney song. When Disney used to release albums of the music from the movies. In this case, it was Alice in Wonderland. I think it was the first. It was, I think it was the Mad Hatter's Tea Party where they did that. Also, I wonder if that's where the Jabberwocky was too. There was another song of Beware, da 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 da. I'm starting too low. La la, all mimsy were the Borgros and the moan were Zalcrabe. Very cheerful. Complete nonsense songs. see, once my mom started having more children, I basically did not exist, except as babysitter of said children, or some other thing would have to do, having to do with the other children, usually, which is another reason I just never grew up thinking I wanted children of my own. It's like, how many times do I have to go through this? Am I supposed to have children my entire freaking life? No, thank you. Yeah, it's funny, other people, they just want bigger and bigger families. I'm not happy unless I have 6 grandchildren and 3 children and all the in-laws and everybody sitting at the same table. Like, I get that. I get that. Don't want it, but I get it. There is joy in gathering together. I did like family get-togethers when I was a kid. I did miss them after, things like divorce change things. But see, that's how I know. When I was little, and Mom was busy with everybody there except me, because I was the eldest, and I just started being independent very early because of my mouth. So I kept busy. I was always listening to music or writing poetry. It just seemed like that's why I wanted a piano. Screw pony. Who wanted a pony? Pony? You can't cuddle with it. You can't snuggle. You can't sleep with it. A pony. Where do you put them at night? They won't let you go to school on one. So, to me, the request for a pony never seemed like a logical one for a child. Dogs, cats, pet emu, pet chicken. Some things you just do get. It's coming together. The colors are starting to happen. The layers are building. My happiness is blooming. But we must let this dry, or I'll start pulling it off where I have it and putting it where I don't want it. So this goes over there. But first, I'm missing a lamp. Be right back. I could understand if you were not a Disney fan. I had the album for Bambi. I had never seen the movie, had no idea what it was about other than there was a deer and Little Thumper, there was a deer and a bunny and I forget what else, butterflies, birds, on the cover, and it said Bambi. I got the idea that the star of the show was Bambi. But I didn't have a clue what it meant, and I just loved the music. Oh, I would walk around, I'd sing that stuff. I'd put my Victrola on, which was a big box, which held my weight, by the way. That became my stage. So you turn the music on, and you get on top of it, and you're ready to do. You can't tap dance, because I did learn if you try to tap dance on that thing, A, you fell off because there wasn't that much room, and B, you made the record skip. No matter how many pennies you put on the arm. So I did not know about Bambi until I was, I'm going to say close to 30, because I got my first VCR at 28 or 29. And that's when I was able to start renting movies, and I got caught up with my childhood. That's when I saw for the first time Sleeping Beauty. I'd never seen it in the theater. The only Disney movie I remember seeing in the theater, two of them, and they scared me. One of them I remember going, this should not be shown to children. That was the one that made my sister cry. One of them cried. Pinocchio. I did not like Pinocchio. I did not like Dumbo. Made me cry. I said, this is terrible. And, you know, I was very judgmental as a very small child. Nothing's changed. I did not think that a lot of that stuff should be shown to sensitive little children. Dumbo, when the Dumbo is separated from mommy elephant, you're just terrible. Bambi's mother gets shot. And Pinocchio, a little wooden boy coming to life. Well, that was okay, but it was all the other stuff he got in trouble with. The evil in the world. It was like, I did not approve. But I wasn't the mommy. I was the pretend mommy. I was the big sister. Alice in Wonderland, I read the books, you know, Beyond the Looking Glass. It's just really the sequel, but they put them out in the same thing. And I read that several times. So as weird as it was, the movie was way lighter than reading it firsthand, I thought. So I had no problem with Alice in Wonderland. It was a weird story, but it was a weird story. I'd read a lot of fairy tales, so I knew that they were way more grim than the Grimm brothers than Disney made. Cinderella, I saw Cinderella not as a movie, as the stage play, which I now have a copy of, Rodgers and Hammerstein version. Never saw Little Mermaid. All those things came way after I was an adult. The stuff that everybody carries on about now. I have seen some, though, as an adult, intentionally, that I think are brilliant. I love them, and they're not completely Disney, I don't think. I do like the Frozen movies. I love them just for the artistry, but also good scores. Let's see. Oh, Moana. Moana, excellent. Brave, excellent. I mean, those are really well done. So many levels. And they weren't the kind of scary Pinocchio and some other things were as a child. So, Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is enough to make you scared of little old ladies who come asking for help. No, don't put a curse on me. Here. Please, here, take my room. Here, my bed. Here, my crown. Don't make me ugly. A lot of weird lessons in those stories. I just remembered something funny, a little more recent. Were you here when my BFF Trish came in? And I told you I never met her in person for one thing, but it's been years since we've been in touch. And she felt me talking to her, and she came in. She contacted me, and I was a couple days before. And so she showed up, but although we call each other BFF, it really comes from a typo that happened when she was looking for beef in SimCity. And it typo corrected for some reason, capital BFF. It's like, I thought, really? BFF? And we started laughing because now we're each other's BFF. But really, we were just looking for beef and for a contest. After that, we just became BFFs. And definitely, we're on the same sphere, I guess. So it's pretty cool. And she showed out. This brush really holds on to pigment. I just washed this in the sink and changed the water, and here it is. Look at the blue again. Well, okay. Yeah, but we ended up like being like BFFs in real life because when she was having to say goodbye to some loved ones, for some reason, they spoke to me, and so I passed everything to her. So she was able to make better arrangements, make things better. And it's like, yeah, we're definitely connected. Because it's not like I talk about these things in the game, Excuse me. She created our SimCity page on Facebook, but I could never remember the password. Plus, I really hate Facebook. We did it so we could share pictures of our cities and all. But then almost nobody participated, and the people who did are gone. And the only thing we want to share is like one of our people is getting married in Hungary? Venezuela. He's in Venezuela. So, yeah, it's fun having a club. But I'm not a good president anymore because we only have several people, and none of us right now, we're all so busy in our own lives. We love playing the game, we love competing, but at the same time, we don't have time to train new people who we bring into the club. So, there's always got to explain all the rules and stuff, and I'd say we're all pretty lazy about that at the moment. So we're just playing. Where's the beef? Where's the boof? Aw, you're so sweet. I meant beef, but oh yeah, coming out. Oh, that's gonna be gorgeous. That's what I've been wanting. Alright, one thing we have not done with this is use an actual green. Now the green does go, it's in the same family, so it will go. I'm just not sure if I want to do too much of that, because I want to make sure we get the weaving. I think we will just wait a little longer. So I think while you're all relaxed, while everybody is asleep, when everybody gets up, are you making breakfast or do you get to chill? Yeah, we need more of that blue. Bring this patch down a bit. Because what I just did is not really smart. I just touched the dropper to the canvas. That's not smart to do. Because then I went and stuck it back in the bottle. We're going to be going through these inks pretty fast now that I'm working with larger canvas. That is so cool. There's no actual iridescence in any of this. Okay. Oh, cool. As I'm working this shade of blue down here, it's just like foaming up a little bit. Look at that. It's doing its own thing. What a gorgeous color. I'm so pleased with this company's products. Royal Langnickel acrylic inks. I really do have to praise them. It's coming along. It's coming along. This. Break some of that out. Yeah. Oh, I'm starting to love you. Oh my god, that's going to be so pretty when I put this stuff over it and freeze that color right where it is. Viper, hello! Down here getting all ecstatic over the way the colors are coming out in little spots. I have to let things dry so that I can freeze them with this acrylic resin. Thank you. This is literally nothing but blue. All in here, and most of this is nothing but blue and yellow, and the green is being blended on the canvas. So the green is just happening with me overlapping. I put yellow down first, and then over here I did take out some Prism Violet acrylic to add a little bit more purplish to the further reaches of space here. Thanks. I'm definitely enjoying the way that's going. I'm so hoping that I would start to see the emergence of the different, like I was saying earlier, there's no iridescence, nothing at all. I'm just using a couple of flat inks, literally just the primary blue and primary yellow of Langnickel acrylic inks. Oops, sorry. And then as I freeze each layer with the resin, I'm able to paint over that, so I'm getting a depth of color as if it were oil paints. And yet it's just flat acrylic. So that's what I'm really mostly trying to achieve, is the layered effect of nice oil paints, but not using oil paints. I can't use them in this apartment. I did speak to a physical therapist yesterday afternoon, and it looks like I'm going to have to start painting more frequently on an easel. I don't have an easel, so although a nice one was on my wish list, at this point I don't know where the hell I'd put it. But I'm going to probably have to look at a desk easel. A desk easel. The problem is the head doing too much of this. We need a little bit better posture to align the spine, and especially the neck. And as it is, I'm always moving around because I have to see the colors and the reflections from all different angles to see what I'm doing next. But what's next for this is drying time. I don't want to move any of the colors I managed to get just where I want them. And then after it's dry, I can preserve them. Okay. Okay, now I can just sit down for a few minutes. I have another silly project here. Okay, for those of you who are following this show a couple of years ago, 2021. Okay, I made this when I was living across the street. I don't have black gesso, but I have covered canvas in black and started with that. Like, my angel pictures start with dark background. This is going to be the next angel picture. I've already started building up layers, but it started with black. I just painted the whole thing black. So this one, as opposed to the other angel pictures like that one, that also, now this was not black. That was, well, I guess it was black. I had black, but mostly it was the dark purple, and just straight out of the tube to get it as black as possible without it being completely black, because I wanted it to come forward. So this is angel number 3. All of them start with the dark background. Either solid, well, not solid, because I do all this tape work behind, and then peel the tape as I do different layers. So this one is, you can see where I made my squares here. And this one I'm trying to see the 2 angels coming up and meeting right in here. So they're both catching or working on the same catching of light. But this one, I was going to do it for an angel from behind and then change my mind. This one I had all this geometric stuff worked out in the background. It's going to get more and more faded. I just wanted that for color and to keep me going in the right direction. Thanks. I am definitely having a good time, and that's what it's all about. But this is just a watercolor, but I was looking to make stuff with color. There's like energy expressions. So I left like this, and I think I took a scan of it and put it up on Fine Art America in case anybody wants to use it to make a blanket or a pillow or something. But I do have 8x8 watercolor pad now, so if I want to do the pillows, which I still want to do, I can make them perfectly square, and then it makes a really good image for a throw pillow. Now, I never thought I'd be into throw pillows. I hated them as a kid. Ended up with a couple in midlife. They were okay, but they were oversized, and my cats really liked sleeping on them, so it was all right. But now it's like, well, you know, I designed a bunch of tiles that were really nice, and they're square tiles. Why not just redo them as pillows? So I started to do that, but then the work started depressing me, having to go over the same thing over and over. And I couldn't find a shortcut. Oh yeah, look, let's face it. Not every artist is going to make it. In fact, most artists don't. Graphic artists have a better chance than people like me. My stuff is like, well, if I'm lucky, someone will want to sponsor me, or they'll fall in love with my art or whatever. But that's what it takes, you know, and then it's who you know and who they know, and if you make it big for a while, like, ride it, but don't plan on that being your entire life. Not everybody gets that kind of claim and the money to go with it. So if you don't love it, don't bother. You have to love it. It has to be more important than money. That's how my music was, and that's how my writing is, and that's my art is. I don't care. I mean, I'd love it if somebody buys my books, but I'm happier just to hear somebody read the book. Like, I'll give it away free. Here, just read it. Tell me if you like it. I'm trying to entertain. And I'm trying to entertain you, the stranger. But, you know, taste is taste. Do you get Netflix by chance? I'm totally... That's me. And that's why I'm enjoying my life. Really, my life is so awesome at the moment, because I may not be able to, like, currently afford a bunch of good materials or what have you, but I am loving everything I have, using it to the ultimate degree, and it just makes me happy as hell. Oh, does it? What about Amazon Prime? Oh, cool. There's a very silly, but I love the show. It's so good-natured. Is It Cake? Mikey Dave from Saturday Night Live is the host. They finally came out with the second season, and I just started watching that. The first season is a must-watch because it is a competitive show, but it's like nothing like any of the other competition shows. It is so loving, and everybody supports each other, and it's truly a feel-good show. And yeah, I really loved it, and I really hoped that they would come out with a sequel to that, and they finally did. I couldn't understand. I thought I discovered it. Is It Cake? Yeah. I didn't realize, like, oh my god, it's like the most popular. Well, if I had known it was the most popular or whatever, I wouldn't have watched it, because I'm one of those people that avoids the bestseller list just on principle. Is It Cake? Yeah, you don't want to... It just seems like a setup. The only reason things even make it to the bestseller list because the publisher put the money into it. Yeah. Well, on Amazon Prime, after all these years, my most favorite, beloved, crazy book, Good Omens, by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, the late great, my hero. They wrote a book called Good Omens years and years ago in the 80s, and I was given it as a gift. Totally flipped. It's like, oh my god, my new favorite book. And because I love the voice in it so much, I read it before I sit down to write each book. So when I'd already written the Foundation of Numaris, the first Numaris, before Good Omens, but then when I had to sit down and rewrite it, it was definitely flavored with the humor and accent of Good Omens, British. So Good Omens, to me, this is just an excellent little book. It's not going to win any literary awards. It's not that kind of a book. I wasn't aiming to win awards with Numaris. For some people, it might be a teacher's nightmare, but it's the story. And it's well told, simply, brilliantly, and it chimes just so completely with me for reasons I will leave to your imagination. But they just came out with a second season. My first reaction to hearing, wait, wow, no. What do you mean a second season? Terry Pratchett is dead, and there's no second book? How can you add to the... Oh, I was getting ready to be quite outraged. But then I saw that Neil Gaiman had a hand in it, and if Neil Gaiman approved the script for the second one so that they could come out with a second season and keep our two wonderful characters going, I was like, all right, I'll try it. Well, I have not watched an episode yet. I have watched some trailers, and I went, okay, all right, I gotta see it. But I want to make sure, like, I've got time to relax with it. Yes. That's it. You're gonna love it. So when I saw that they had finally turned it into a movie, it had taken many years to come to where I was going to be able to go into a movie, because there was a lot of dispute over who was going to be the actors, especially of Aziraphale. They had been thinking of Tom Cruise for Crowley. He changed his name. It is a wonderful story, and I was really worried that in turning it into a visual, especially because of some of the necessary special effects, that I was going to hate it, and I didn't want anything to compromise the brilliance of the original manuscript. But it turned out it is as true as they could possibly make it, including just a little tweaking for updating to bring it into the now rather than the 80s. Aside from that, though, it was beautifully true to the original story, and it's like an all-star cast. It's brilliant. The acting is perfect. The sets, the effects, perfect. I can't recommend it highly enough if you're into, well, angels and demons. So I don't know what they've cooked up for the second season. It's gotta be a doozy. Aziraphale, when I read the book, I imagined Dudley Moore as Aziraphale. And if not Dudley Moore, the only other character I could see in that position of Aziraphale would be Eric Idle at any age. So I don't know who was actually approached, how many different ideas went across the table. It took a long time for them to bring it to film. Um, I'm so glad that somebody finally did. It might have been one of those cases of, oh, it's not going to be a blockbuster, so we're Paramount. We only do blockbusters, and we're this, and we only do blockbusters. And Amazon Prime needs material, and they're willing to take more risks, I think. And I think they're going to have a blockbuster. Oh, I love that too, yes. That is a wonderful movie. It is a wonderful movie. It's one of my favorites too. Dudley Moore was also really good with Daryl Hannah in Crazy People. That is also one of my favorite old films. Hello, hello, hello. What a wonderful word. Hello. Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I think my favorite of his. Oh yeah, that was Crazy People. Crazy People, where he's the ad man at home, laughing in front of his computer as he comes up with these brilliant ideas, and he's cackling and the lightning strikes and you go, oh man, this is going to be good. I thought he was excellent in that. Of course, that he was already starting to have problems with his brain, and people were starting to think that he was drinking on the job when it was the brain, and he didn't tell anybody what was going on. He kept it such a good secret. I don't remember what it ended up being. Was it Alzheimer's, Parkinson's? What was going on with his brain? Like he was seriously losing it on a medical thing, and it was interfering the way he was able to remember his lines and all of that. That broke my heart. I totally love that guy. What are your favorites? I've been looking at old stuff lately. Like I recently actually rented instead of bought a Fred Astaire Ginger Rogers movie. When I watched it, I realized I must have seen it on TV as a kid. It was great. Darn, what was it? Damn, I can't remember now. I love Fred Astaire. Rhode Island School of Design has a museum, Vista Museum, and I got to see an exhibit of clothing that included one of his top hats and tail outfits. He was a little guy. I could see why he was careful about who he danced with, because some of those dancers were on the tall side, and this guy, he was little, and everything fitted. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I think that's how he picked out Ginger Rogers. I think he had to make sure that she wasn't going to his co-star wasn't going to tower over him. Also, for dancing, you want to be kind of even. I didn't realize that after seeing that. I was like, well, she must be kind of tiny herself, because the way they spin around on the floor. will confess, even though I can't wear my tap shoes anymore, and not that I ever learned how to tap, I did try to teach myself. I got the Shirley Temple tap move, or they call it Shirley Temple. It's a kind of a shuffle thing, but it was fun. Would have been better if I had the extra taps on my shoes. But then my bunion just outdid me. I can't get the damn shoe on my right foot anymore. It is agonizing. But I still, when I listen to my music in the morning, I do my fake tap dancing and my slippers all over the place. The way you wear your hat. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Oh no, they can't take that away from me. No, they can't take that away from me. That was the movie I rented. I just can't. They sing that song for the first time there, and then they dance to it in another movie without singing to it. Well, I was so curious about that song that I looked up the movie, and I realized, wait a minute, I don't have this one for sure. And have I seen it? I wasn't sure until I saw it, and then went, oh, I recognize all these old actors. I think half of them were dead by the time I was born, actually, but yeah, it was so cool to see all these people. It was back when even the hotel, the concierge, the maître d', whatever he was, when he would bring you to your room in your suite, to your hotel, even if you were married, you had separate rooms with it. But if you were married, you had an unlocked door between the suites. But if you were not married, they made sure that door was locked. And that became like a running joke, as the maitre d' wasn't sure if Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers were married or not, because the rumor mill was flying to both sides. So it was just a running gag. But it was, oh yeah, back in those days, it was completely improper for there to be an open doorway between two people who are not married. So it was a cute movie. I thought, okay, well, I've seen it once, it's enough. But then since then I've gone, that would be cute to see again. I don't know, I've only seen it once in my life, or maybe twice at the most. I know you're a lot younger, but do you remember, have you ever seen any of the old Mae West movies? Like My Little Chickadee with W.C. Fields. I think that was one of the biggest hits, because it was, both of them wrote it. W.C. Fields and Mae West. Well, this is both relaxing and nerve-wracking. simultaneously. Details, itsy bitsy teensy wincy details. But it keeps me from looking directly down and giving my neck a break. So we're gonna do a little of that while the other painting is drying, and it should be dry enough to do the next step soon. I love the way the universe works with us. We step back. It's really kind of amusing. In fact, it's very amusing. The reading I had today, we started talking about all kinds of stuff. And I remembered, some of my quasi-celebrity background growing up. Oh, I need fresh tea. And then I remembered, it's like I've always been on the edge of fame and fortune. I've known people rich and famous, and I've enjoyed their company and had good times with them, but I'm nobody in that kind of regard. So I have been able to enjoy that life, but at the same time being fairly anonymous, because I'm not somebody you really, you'd recognize on the street. Also, I'm very rarely out on the street, so I'm kind of safe from that. But I was thinking about, like, when I was in North Carolina, I met this awesome dude, ancient. When I say awesome, I'm saying, I think he was, I don't know, 89, 90. And he was volunteering at a hospital where I brought Glenn to have a little surgery done. And I was a little worried, but at the same time I wasn't, because it wasn't like a serious surgery. I knew it was going to be extremely painful for him afterward, but he would be okay. But this old man who was volunteering, kind of like a door greeter, except it wasn't more than a greeter. He helped bring people to where they needed to go. He directed them if they were lost. He was just a sweetheart, and I have no clue how it got around to it, but he ended up, we just had such a good conversation. We wanted to stay in touch with each other. And I don't know how. I don't know if it was because of the college curriculum, like, adult education. I volunteered to make money doing that. I'll teach people how to do this. They pay this much. So that might have been how I got him. But then I decided not to do the course at the college because of the subject matter, which was I was teaching people tarot in North Carolina. You might imagine in a place that had like 3 churches in 2 blocks, this might not be the best place to be teaching tarot. However, I had a place in town that I was able to use to teach, and it was a public room. Nobody could deny me as a resident, and I could do anything I wanted there as long as I booked the time. So I did. Well, this guy came, and his name was Bill, and I couldn't remember his last name, but cool guy, nice man. And he asked if it was okay if he bring his wife, because she was suffering from Alzheimer's, which I was not familiar with other than the name until then. And so I was like, of course, bring her. And so she sat at the table with the lessons and really wasn't all there, but she held on to her purse, and she sat next to her husband, and she felt safer that way, so I had no problem at all. After all, we're not doing card readings, we're just studying the meanings of the cards and how you lay them out to do a reading. Well, I let him know, or it came out, that occasionally I'm a medium. Occasionally. I'm not one of those people that just sees and hears everybody who's out there. If they chose to speak with me for somebody specific, they come through, I'm a willing vessel, but I do not make that my business practice because it disappoints people. I had people come in, can you please contact so-and-so? Can you please contact so-and-so? Most of the time, the answer is no. They are just not the right vibration to match with mine, so I can't always connect. Sometimes I can pick up stuff, but it's kind of vague. I hate doing readings like that. So most of the time, it's a no, I don't want to do that, thank you. And other times, what happens is people pop in, whether I like it or not, and they start offering information. They make it clear who it's for. Things like that happen, but that's just me being open to it, but that doesn't mean it happens often. So this guy wanted to be connected with his father, and his father had died long, long ago, and there had been some questions about his legitimacy. He wanted to know if it was really his father, and if his father had anything to say to him. Well, he didn't tell me who his father was. Of course, he knew. But it turned out it was a really interesting reading, because the first person to come through was his mother. And I was trying to figure out what she was trying to tell me to identify her, which was like this huge headdress and flowery things, and the only words that were coming, I kept saying flora, floral, and finally I said, was she a Floradora girl? I see her like a show kind of a thing. And it turned out she was in Ziegfeld Follies. She was a Follies girl. I forget what they called them, but I was like, wow, okay. But I said, but your mother was not really she wasn't like that, I mean, that was definitely, there was a separation between her job and who she was, because I see her as wearing this gray suit, very well tailored, skirt and a jacket, and she very proper, your mother, matching gray gloves. I described a hat, very conservative, but also well-to-do, especially for that age, for that time. And he said, yes, that's exactly how she was. She was very proper, and she always loved to dress well, tailored clothing, and she did love her gloves, and of course the hats were part of the way everybody dressed back then. So I described the mother, but then it came down to the father. And now I don't ask for names, I just wait for them to come, and whatever comes I say. Well, in this case it was like, well, the father seems to be observing the world very fuzzy. Everything's very fuzzy through his eyes, like he's drugged or drunk or has too much to drink. I see him walking down what looks like a red carpet. There's like these red velvet ropes like you see in movie theaters, and there's a beautiful woman on his arm. I get the sense that there is a beautiful woman on his arm, but it's not your mother. And he's just like, he's observing everything, but through his eyes, everything is really blurry. It's like he's kind of just being, moving along, and then finally it was like, oh my God, your father is W.C. Fields. And he said, that's what my mother said. And he did meet his father once, when his father admitted that he was not illegitimate. Well, he was illegitimate. He'd had an affair with his mother. He was the result, but he was the only legitimate heir besides marry, the son that was conceived in marriage, they were Catholic, and they grew up, you're not supposed to get divorced. So W.C. was not going to divorce his wife, even though it was a very unhappy marriage for him. And he was an alcoholic, and he was also a little bit of a lech. And he told a story about how his father was basically destroyed emotionally, and that's when he really became a drinker. And that was when a neighbor's child fell into his swimming pool and drowned. And there was nothing they could do to save this kid. And W.C. was he was destroyed. And I saw that scene, and I described that, and that he was never the same. He was never the same. He just went into the bottle, and he looks like he never actually came out. And that was the truth. Even when he was supposed to be sober, or they thought he was drinking like watered down wine or something, the guy never completely stopped drinking ever. And I thought that was interesting. But that he saw his world in such a blurry way. I couldn't get a clear focus trying to connect with him, but I knew who it was. And when I was talking about how he was seeing, my friend and client was saying, I'm not surprised. His world was probably very often blurry, and it still hadn't made the connection. And then it was, oh my God, you're Bill Fields, you are the son of. And what he had been looking for was spiritual through me, confirmation that what his mother told him was true, that he really was, and that W.C. acknowledged him. But he hitchhiked all the way across to California when he was 16 to meet his father, and his father admitted it, gave him a little bit of money, and sent him on his way because he couldn't be exposed to his wife. So after that, his son decided, fuck you, Dad, I want nothing to do with you. And he didn't. He would never take anything, never asked for anything. But in the W.C.'s son's biography, he did mention his half-brother. I can't remember if they met or not, but no. So family connections, you never know. So as I said, I was not famous, but I brushed up against people who were also not necessarily famous, but it's those famous people. They're on everybody's periphery. Look into the family, eventually you bump into someone who is either famous or infamous, right? So Bill became an exemplary example of a citizen. Had a really super interesting life. Service was his calling. And he was just one of our most beloved friends in North Carolina. Not mine, other people. I knew him, but he was not, I didn't have time. He passed not too long after. He sent me a friend of his who was trying to understand some symbols that came to him in dream. And I recognized the symbols, but the problem is those are not symbols that are interpretable by human brains. So it's like, I know that symbol. It's a geometric symbol. I've seen before on the other side, or I should say, not the other side so much as it's a certain state. where you see these things that are symbols, they look, I call the mechanics of matter. It's really difficult to try and explain. It's nothing physical in this world. Nevertheless, it does mean things. It just doesn't mean anything while you're human. Even if you get the symbols and you pick it up, it's nothing you can use consciously as a human. The only way you know is if you have an instant understanding. You can look at a symbol and you know what it means, and that means you got a message. But if you look at a symbol and you know it's a symbol, but you don't know what it means, it's not yours to understand yet. Eventually, maybe you will, maybe not. You may have to go home to find out what that was. Just because our cooperative components send out lots of little ninja stars or rescues and hints, it doesn't mean we pick it up. Sometimes the time just passed, you miss it, and oh well, there'll be more appropriate to wherever we are in the moment. If it's important, don't worry. Spirit will not let you miss it. You will know. But he wasn't happy with the answer. I remember after a meeting on a park bench, being glad that he wasn't one of those people who could rate me on the 5-star rating system. It's like, yeah, I don't know why people expect other people to be able to just plug in and know it all, and it's not how anything works. Yeah, just because you ask me a question doesn't mean I'm going to be given the answer for you. It's your job. Stay open, work at being happy, and things come to you. I only know that if you're down all the time, things don't come so easily. The more down you are, the less inspiration you're going to get. You can't access your higher self that opens you up to the flow. So relax, 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 chill, chill, chill. Look for ways to be happy. Drawing on gold. I do better with a hairline brush and paint. Doesn't really like to do that. Very resistant. Oh, you have to get to the right angle. See what you're doing here. Okay, everybody tune their brains to the song Happy. Y'all fall asleep? I quit Twitter a while ago after Elon Musk started screwing it up. So I don't advertise this show anymore because that was like an automatic thing with Twitch. You could go ahead and post on Twitter. So no, thank you. I think I'll go look elsewhere. But I haven't joined another. I'm on Instagram, but aside from looking at Exy's artwork and a couple other people, Snoop Dogg and I forget his name. It's terrible. He uses initials. He's a writer of children's books. I don't really watch very much. Like, who has time? Okay. Now let those marker thingies rest. Black or blue? Black or blue? We got the blue. I think we're gonna go with black. 'Cause I can. Love is a many splendored thing. Aloha! If you're looking forward, you can't look back. What do you want for tomorrow? What do you want to attract into your life? What do you want? Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love is all you need. Well, I like that attitude. That's a welcome attitude in this room. Yeah, yeah. All I need is a campfire. Well, you've got some Oscar Mayer wieners? I love campfires. Haven't had one in years. Haven't had one since leaving North Carolina. Oh my God. 2009. I've gone all these years without a campfire. That's pathetic. Well, I have apple. Oh no, so I got apple sausage? Chicken and apple something. I got them a small package to try something different. It turned out, well, I've only eaten one so far, but it's really good. It's like, oh, it's not that different really. Tasty, very tasty. Oh man, it's finally cooling off in here. It's been miserable all night and all day. So yay. This is the first time I felt like, oh, that's nice and cool. I just want to celebrate. Finish it. I just want to celebrate. Sing it my way. Looks like a hot day today. It has been here. Miserably hot. Hot and humid from rain. Okay. There's a bug on my screen. It looks kind of like a... I don't know what the hell it is. I don't have my glasses on. Looks like one of those summer bugs, a summery bug. Oh. There they are. Alright, I think that's enough. Alright, that's enough. It's probably just going to end up as a postcard anyway. I signed it up here, so I guess this is the top. It's kind of arbitrary, I guess. 2021. Whoa! Did you get any pics? Excuse me. No, I'm not falling asleep on you. And it come out good? Poor finger. I think I'm developing a A knot there or something. Stop it. You gotta talk to your body. Alright, this goes away. Fair, not the best. You will have more opportunities. The important thing was that you witnessed it personally. That's the cool part. It's hard to get a good picture of rainbows. I was seeing some good rainbows every once in a while down from my bedroom window in York, which presented two problems. One, a screen I could not shoot around because the screen went top and bottom windows, so it wasn't like I could open the window and get a better view. And also, when I looked straight out where I could see like a full arc, there were also rooftops. Oh my, my. Are you ready? You have your tea lights and candles and flashlights and food that you can use without electricity, cans of beans, things like that. Or do you have a little camping stove? Something to get you through. You have your incense. Well, I don't know how you're going to cook with that. But if you have the green incense that I love so well, yay, that's at least something. All right, it's now time. Oop. At least it'll smell great before the wind of the hurricane just blows it on out, eh? What kind of incense did you get?
I'm getting tea.
So Maui, you wished yourself up a hurricane. A little overdoing it. Oh, frankincense and myrrh. Yeah, the traditional church incenses. I have both. I have them in their raw form. I had to make my own incense. So when is the hurricane supposed to head your way? I mean, like, is it going to hit your island? What are they saying? Because incense is not going to provide you with food, drink, or, you know, power. Now see, when I was a kid here in New England, it was very common to have losing your power for hurricanes. Hurricanes were a thing and still are. They hit up here. So, hey, you smart Alec. I give a squeeze, you don't do nothing. That means we got a problem. Let me get the unproblemaker. I have a natural incense. It is the lichen that is on wood bark that has fallen off the tree. That lichen and those little wood bark is Is that what we call? No, that's not the wolfbane. I forget. Well. Hurricane Calvin. Oh, let's see what my weather looks like. We're supposed to get a storm too. Well, we already had one, but they're talking another one. So not Angus. 7-day forecast. Outside. Yeah, it was miserable. When I woke up this morning, when I got up this morning, it was already 76 degrees and 88% humidity. Ugh. It's 81 now, or 27 Celsius. 20% chance of T-storms, mostly sunny, yeah. Tonight, slight chance, then showers likely, possibly after 2 a.m. Possibly heavy rain, on Sunday, showers and possibly a thunderstorm. 90% chance of heavy rain tonight, tomorrow. They didn't name a storm. Let me see if I look at the American. No, it's not going to show me Hawaii. It's only the continental. I'll look it up separately. Well, I would think on an island that you would always be ready in case, because they devastate islands frequently. So I would think that you would have, food and some stuff stashed. Sterno cans, for cooking when you can. They have indoor stuff. Of course, some stuff's better outside, but everything's got its safety warnings and tells you what you can and can't do. I just got that on the back of my hand. This is one of those things where you can only get one pass with it because it starts to pull up the paint below it. It will dissolve it. It's not a pure acrylic. That's why I said it's more like an acrylic resin. It acts differently. But holy cow. We have gotten some gorgeous color out of this. Oh, that's good. A tsunami is way worse than just a hurricane. That's an underwater earthquake. Yeah. One of the reasons I would not live on an island, it's just my own fear of drowning. I'm not a strong swimmer. Do not do anything stupid. Ooh. All right, wait. Hello, Rob. How are you today? We are excellent. How art thou? How is your running going this week? Are you able to run in this heat? Oh, I bet. It's very... Oh, that's good to know, Maui. And that's probably why so many rich people settle there, huh? If you're gonna be on an island, try to go for the safest one. I mean, that would be my thing. Because, like I said, I do not swim well. At this age, yeah, I'd probably just take a big gulp of water and say, bye, folks. See you next life. Well, look at how lucky you are, Maui. 17 miles this week. Whoa, how's your air quality? Did you get hit with that smoke from Canada? I would imagine that would hold up practice and stuff for a little bit. Don't know me, son? What does that mean? Oh, you ran in the pollution? With all the particulate matter getting sucked into your lungs? Wow, you kids are nuts. But good for you. You think you're gonna break any records this year? I mean, your own personal records? Okay. I see. Young person slang. All right. So, Have you broken your personal best yet? Or you know you're going to? Excellent. Well, you know so much more this year, right? Well, I know you're not in school yet. It's summer. I would hope you're not in school. I mean, I mean, you're going to summer school. You got a valet job? Hey! Well, that'll be good for your car. That's wonderful. Where you're at, like a restaurant or another venue? Oh, a country club. La-di-da. They better tip well. Yeah. Cool. Daddy get you the gig? Cool. Have you ever seen the movie Caddyshack? Your dad is probably too smart. Oh my god, it's an oldie but goodie. You should definitely see it. It was basically made for young men around 16, 17, 18. Well, my father did golf, and he briefly joined, he was invited to join a country club because he was so rich at the time. And then he got in, and he met the people, and he quit. Of course, I didn't understand that as a kid, because I liked it. Daddy, can we go back there? We're not going back there. But the movie's freaking hilarious. Caddyshack is a strange movie because it originally started out to be about the caddies. The caddies who were hoping to someday become professional golfers. That's just why they were caddying and hoping to make, you know, good tips being caddies. And they're trying to plan for their futures and not sure what they wanted for their futures. Oh yeah, they're beautiful. Totally. Yeah, they get the best piece of property in the area. I lived around the corner from a couple of them in different places. And yeah, definitely nice properties. And they're kept that way. So Caddyshack started out to be about these teenagers. So at first you get all the teenage stuff, but then because of what happened was because the comedians, the adult comedians from back then, like original Saturday Night Live people, they ended up stealing the show, and it became a different kind of a movie. It still involved the teenagers completely, but a lot of the accent went on the adults. But they were freaking hilarious adults. Oh, isn't that nice? Well, you have lots of properties in your area like that. Here too, in Connecticut. It's a very muddy state. Yeah, Caddyshack, starring Rodney Dangerfield. I think it was his first movie, and he was already a writer and a comic, stand-up and all that. He was already quite famous, but it was his first movie, and he was very nervous. He was terrified of how people would see him, and he started this nervous stuff, but that was not part of his act originally. It was what happened when he was like, he felt so self-conscious, he would start sweating, he wasn't sure how people felt about how he delivered his lines. He was completely paranoid for that movie, but it turned out being caught on camera, being very, very funny. So he adapted, because he was a comedian. Well, that's a good thing to know, what it's like to actually earn an hourly wage. Of course, at a country club, you're not really seeing real life. If you really want to know what it's like, get a job at Walmart. Any job at Walmart. Honey, you're going to learn a lot. And it's a good idea for you to get jobs all over the place. It's not taking up all your time. You try something, just check it out. Eventually you will have a real job, but you'll have more respect for all the people that support you. Hardest job I ever did was waitressing because of the lack of respect. You go in, you're just trying to earn a living, and you gotta put up with all kinds of shit if you're a female. That's right. Realize the value of money. You're not really learning very much at a golf club, I guarantee you. But you take a job like a Walmart job or a McDonald's job, a crap job that most of the country has to take. It totally changes your perspective, and you will respect the dollar. But it's not just the value of money, it's the value of the people. That's your real money. Unhappy people, doesn't matter how much you make, you're fucking the world. But yes, you don't develop a work ethic unless you work. Now see, I've lived on more than 2 sides of the track. Yeah, you get it. Demanding. They don't care about logic or reason or that the fact that you're learning, or those are the people you don't want as friends because they're not nice people. When a person shows himself for what he really is by how he treats other people, and that includes the janitor in the school. Greetings. Yeah, right, Rob. You gotta put them in their place, let them know. Aloha, Charlie. And check out the colors that are developing. The greens and the blues coming out. And I'm freezing them in place. And I'll come in with more color when this is all dry. I'm so happy. But now I have to put this where I'm not going to touch it. Charlie, tell me about your day. How is it over there? That's great, Rob. It's a good thing. It's a good thing what you're doing. You get a lot more, you get more ideas. You get inspired. Okay. How's Grandma? Did they have you working outside in the garden? Charlie, you're here. Can you pull some weeds for me, my dear grandchild? $13 in tips. That's not very much. To drive a golf cart, though, is fun. You don't have to pay me to do that. I love it. Fun. Well, stash the money, but keep 10% to party with. If you don't treat yourself, you will become stingy, and nobody likes that. It is. It's fun. It's fun. It's kind of like practicing being old. Oh, old, those communities, they have carts. You don't have to have a car anymore. Sell your car, get a cart. You have lots of little roads, but you can't take it on the highway. Everyone's lovely jubbly. I'm not sure about the jubbly part. I'm sorry that I was so late coming on today, and you're so late because it's getting time for me to go. Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. Everybody's doing good today. Yay! I like days like today. We're all looking forward to good stuff. We're doing good stuff. We're relaxed. We're chilling. Everyone around us is lovely. That's good. Good vibes attract more good vibes. If only I could attract good food like that. Actually, I did. I made an awesome side dish last night. Maui, I told you, don't chase unless you see something needs a rescue. And there is an advantage by going to the cat cafe. $50 for a kitten that's got all its shots and spayed. That's going to save you a couple $100 right there. I mean, I like to rescue, but I could not do that right now just for the money. Oh, I'm glad, Charlie. I get it, Maui. But no, listen, Maui, I'm not saying hold back. What I really want you to do is just follow your inner being pushing you in this direction or that. Just stay flexible, stay relaxed so that you can hear the information coming to you. You'll feel it in your body if it's the right move. If something in you is saying, rescue that kitten, wait for that kitten, watch for that kitten and rescue it when you can, then do that. Then do that. You'll come up with the money. The money will be there for you to take care of all of the side stuff that has to be done. Okay, Charlie. I'm not trying to tell you to inhibit your own intuition. You really need to pay attention to that. Just don't force it is what I'm saying. It's like, don't make the desire for it getting so big that you match yourself with the wrong one. You know, the right one will present itself, but you'll feel it if that's the right one. You'll know if, like, you gotta wait, set a trap, rescue a baby. Not everything is that obvious, you know? But if you're paying attention to the you in your heart, You'll know. You'll know. This is the one. This is the one. And ask when you go to sleep tonight. Ask your inner being to help you identify which is the right one. And when you wake up, but if you don't have an answer that day, within 3 days you will. You're going to be a daddy again soon, and I know it. But you want to be a daddy to the right one. The best match, not any match. So trust your gut. You'll know. You'll know. What I mean by not forces is don't run out after everything. You know, I must have it. I must have it now. That impatience. That doesn't pay off. You'll do right. You'll do right. You'll be happy when you get it. You want something to cuddle. You want someone that's going to be the same level of affection that you want to give, because cats will adapt. But there are cats, you know, especially the females, seem to have a neural problem. So you can only pet them to their, you know, from head to tail. That's what they'd like best. But if they have a neural disorder, by the third swipe, they'll start getting that nervousness because it's irritating a nerve system. And when that happens, they turn around, they bite, they scratch to get away, or they just kind of spaz. You've seen that kind of cat. And not everyone is like that, but there. So far in my experience, it's only been females, but that is not to say that males don't also not suffer from that or suffer from it. In any case, you know really quickly by how much petting they can take. If they just can't get enough petting without attacking you, then you've got a good one. But some just can't handle the extra stimulation down their back, the spine. I mean, that's their spine, so their spine can get irritated very easily. I know you're going to be in love soon. You'll have that little sweetness, that little purring bundle. It'll be all yours. And it'll fall in love with you like you with it, because that's how you'll make the match. And I'm happy for you. I can just feel it coming. It's freezing where you are? What? I don't know if you're going to be able to do it. You'll probably have to train her. Freezing where you are? Oh my God, are you in air conditioning? You might have one that'll sing along with the uke. Your room is cold. Oh yeah, it's okay. You got AC. Well, you can always open the window for a minute and let it all out. That'll just, what do you have, central air in your house? That is a terrible decision, my love. Are you really wanting to stay up all night and be exhausted tomorrow? I'm going to be here at 10 in the morning. A singing cat is good. I do like that. HVAC, yeah. Alright, but that caffeine is going to give you a jittery. I mean, you'll feel a little up, but sleep will be a little bit more difficult with caffeine in your bloodstream. Follow it with a good glass of water. Oh, well, why don't you ask? I turn to cocoa instead of tea sometimes. It has caffeine in it, but not as much. And Rob, it sounds like the temperature might need to be turned up a degree. 1 degree might be enough, but I don't know. You probably don't have control over the family thermostat. In that case, if you're really cold, either put on a sweater or open the window for a couple of minutes and it'll warm it right up without taking it out of the entire house. As long as you keep your door closed. Of course, if it's closed now, opening it might make it warmer anyway. Well, it depends on the circulation of that. Grandma got the cocoa. There you go, kiddo. All grandmas. I'm a grandma. Well, not really, but I pretend I'm a grandma. I have cocoa. So yay for the cocoa. You'll still be up a little later, but hey, you'll feel good. It's yummy in the tummy. Maybe that's what you need, Rob. Get yourself a hot cocoa. Sit in the freezing cold. It would be like being at a alpine ski resort. Yeah, nice. An hour and a half before bed. Well, you got that worked out. So are you able to you have a good connection there so you can like chess out? Oh. The challenge coming up? Oh, okay. I guess that can get kind of expensive? Or is it just a not good enough connection for that? Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense. I thought you were talking about the push-up practice.
Make up your mind.
Yeah. I'm not really moving anything. Although my bicep is doing this, it's really not doing anything. It's not going down enough. Also, you don't want to bob around like that. I have to do this. I have to build up my veins in my arms. I'm having problems giving blood anymore. Too much scar tissue. I'm gonna start taking it on my ass. Not really. I ain't bending over for that. Oh, this is... No. Oh, that's good. All kinds, not houses. Oh, what are you moving? Ow. Go back. Oh, I'm glad you're out there in nature. Nature's good. Fresh air, sunshine, dirt, green stuff. Ah, interesting. No fences. I know down south on the farm, the only fences were to keep horses and cows where they belong. There were no other fences. We had well, sometimes there were fences, but not much. Barbed wire. Excuse me. Yeah. Big cows, but low enough so that deer can go over them. Let me see, it's too dark. Let me, ha. I guess. So. if you remember, Scrabble me some. Have fun. My friend is going out to pub with his sister, which means he's going to Taiwan. Now here in New England, fences, even for cows, used to just be, for the most part, rock. We have stone walls all around New England. For good reason. This area was developed by a glacial movement, which means when the glacier moves, it leaves a whole shitload of rock. And then the dirt and silt and all that kind of fills in. But what happens is every time there's a frost heave in winter, the rocks make their way toward the surface. So we used to joke and talk about he's going to tie one on. Yes. Don't Fence Me In. Yes, good song. But anyway, the first crop in New England is rock. It's like an old farmer's thing. Because when you go to till the soil, you cannot till it until you've been on your hands and knees, pulling out the rocks that come close to the surface, because if you'll break a tiller or something else if you try to go through all the rock. Even if you farmed it the season before, by the time the next spring comes around, it's all those damn rocks. So what do? You can't just leave them there. You take them and you make a wall. And that's why there's so many walls made of rock. They take them out of the ground and they make a wall. From something McCorkle or whatever. Don't Fence Me In. I don't remember who does that. It's a long time. That's an old one. Who did that, Melly? Oh. Dang, I'd probably know it as soon as you tell me. Don't know. Willie Nelson. It was a big hit. Damn it. Really? Ah, stand up. Let's find out. Who first performed the song Don't Fence Me In?
Roy Rogers. According to Wikipedia, Roy Rogers and Don't Fence Me In. Roy Rogers sang it in the 1944 Warner Brothers movie Hollywood Canteen. Many people heard the song for the first time when Kate Smith introduced it on her radio broadcast of October 8, 1944.
Oh my God. Everybody was wrong. Kate Smith, female, and Roy Rogers. All right. It was written by Cole Porter. He was the composer, lyricist, Robert Fletcher and Cole Porter. There's a Bing Crosby version, a Frank Sinatra version, and other versions in popular shows. Oh my God. Nice. One of my favorites. They can't take that away from me. I was singing that earlier. Jeff Goldblum and the Mildred Snitzer Orchestra covered the song on the album Plays Well with Others. The song was sung by Kelly Clarkson. Labyrinth sang it in a 2019 Super Bowl commercial for Minnie. John Barrowman sang it in his album Swings Cole Porter. Kate Smith also had a top 10 hit with it in 1945. Ella Fitzgerald, it was the Cole Porter. Michael Wyckoff, Kayla Ramler, Nathan Ford remixed it in 2022. Hoyt Axton, 82. Frankie Lane in 1982, The World of Frankie Lane. Ana Belén, Spanish singer. David Byrne. Oh. Yeah. What was that? Chumbawamba recorded in 1992 a version of the song with lead vocals by Danbert Nobakan. A segment of the song featured on the unreleased album Jesus H. Christ. Shh. And yeah, did not feature in the final album cut. Let's see, Larry White. That's a she Larry. Harry Connick or Connick Jr. The Killers, Paul Kelly and Charlie Owen. The Jesus Christ. Ray Benson, Gene Autry. Willie Nelson did it too with Leon Russell. All right, baby, sweet dreams. We'll see you tomorrow if you can make it. Have a wonderful day tomorrow. Yes, and find a plug. Get that in there. Clint Eastwood sang it on the album Rawhides. Clint Eastwood sings cowboy favorites. Mitch Miller chorus sang in the album Sing Along with Mitch and the Gang. That was me. I was the gang. In the gang. Australian male voice choir, the Spooky Men's Chorale, has recorded the song on their DVD. Wow. Rebecca Luker. James Brown recorded a version for his 1974 album Reality. Holy macaroni. Who knew? That's way more popular than it deserves. That makes me think like we've always had the problem of coming up with new material. Why does everybody do the same thing over and over and over and over and over? I mean, I understand singing it, but putting it on an album, I don't know. I guess it's okay. I don't know. I think they should just write some more music. Exie! Hello, darling! How are you today? I'm just like winding down and getting ready to go. But Charlie just went to bed. As usual, Exie, I love your work. I have a hard time with Instagram. It frustrates the hell out of me, but I do go look at it for you. Oh, I can understand that. How is your weather, by chance? Because we're having weird weather all over this side of the planet. Hellish hot here. Maui, how hot has it been for you? I know you haven't been getting rain like you should, but how's the temperature? Also like extra hot, like summer, or on the island, do you not have extremes the way we do when we're inland? In the 80s. Same as here. I think when I was visiting Hawaii, I was only there for 5 days, but I'm gonna say the average was probably 78 and highly humid. Every picture taken of me, I look like my whole face is wet. It's like, are you sweating? No, I'm not actually. It's just the humidity settling on my face. It was kind of weird. Also, my hair was very long at the time, and humidity and my hair are not friends. When I got up this morning, it was one of those nightmare looks that you're really grateful in the moment that there's nobody to see you. because my hair could not possibly have been more. If I tried to look like Phyllis Diller, I couldn't have done a better job. It was Dillard out to here. Completely out. It's like, whoa. What in the hell happened to you overnight? So that was my morning to start. It's 5 p.m. You know what? I had a restless night because I was really uncomfortable. So I'm going to try and go to bed earlier, but I can't do that unless I eat at a reasonable hour. So I think I'm going to say goodbye for today. Tomorrow is, what the hell is tomorrow? Sunday? I'll be here at 10 o'clock, 10:30, somewhere in there. Whatever time it says I'm scheduled tomorrow. Oh, actually, wait. Let me show you what I'd worked on today. It's not dry yet. Aw, thanks for coming in. The blues and greens, I am so pleased with the way I'm able to keep them. So I've been working on that, getting all the layers. It's not showing up to you. Stop. I'm looking at this and I see it, but when I look up there at the screen, it's like you can't see it as well. Take a little glare off it. But I just love these. Yeah. I'm making the water for the planet. This is weaving a new planet. And so we're moving the water in here. And of course we've got outer space here. And so we should be able to see some outer space through where the planet's not quite solid, and other areas where the water is starting to come together. So yeah, it's like underwater, but we're going to have lots of green. And I've done this with nothing but yellow and blue. I have not used any green directly. I'm turning it green with the layers. So tomorrow, a lot of the color I put down today will be preserved because I've covered it in acrylic resin. And because it's clear and it's making a barrier, when I put more color, I'll have that luminescent quality. Thank you. Oh, I'm happy to share it. I'm really enjoying it. And some places I got so happy the way the color came out, I started dancing around. I get so excited when it goes the way I want. Because, you know, art doesn't always go our way. So yeah, I'm having a blast. But it's still wet, so I can't touch it. But it's as it's drying, I'm seeing that, yeah, we got the gorgeous dark blue preserved right there, and the greens. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy. I can't wait to work on it again tomorrow morning. So yes, tomorrow morning we shall return at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. So everybody, you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And I'll be back as soon as I'm able to get back.